All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. It's Dave. It is the Real Music Observer, observing real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. Sad news to report today. I am, of course, a closet Monkees fan. Done a couple of videos about the Monkees. Peter Tork has passed away. Bass player, vocalist, all-around prankster, great on the television show, and a decent musician. And if you know the story, Peter Tork got into the Monkees because Stephen Stills had lousy teeth, and Peter Tork did not. Peter Tork ended up being a bit more photogenic, and I think overall maybe a little more likable than Stephen Stills would have been in the show. Peter Tork was also a real musician when he joined the band. Of course, everybody would more or less become real musicians as time went on, but Peter brought his skill set along with Michael Nesmith, the two guys that really had just bona fide real musician skills. I have a Peter Tork story, which it's pretty unusual. He's one of the rock musicians that I've met over my lifetime. And myself and another friend actually took a ride up to this coffee house. Probably 1984 is when we got to see Peter Tork sit at a piano, maybe 50 people inside the coffee house, which I think was in an old New England church, East Ham or Wellfleet on Cape Cod. And Peter was very entertaining. And we were bold enough when Peter stopped playing the music. He got up and took a break and went out and had a cigarette. And what's kind of sad to think about is that I think Peter had some sort of rare form of cancer on his tongue. Don't know if the cigarettes did it to him. Not going to speculate about that. But we went around and we started talking to Peter Tork. And he was as likable and real and genuine as anybody that you'll ever meet. He told us a lot of details about what he'd been doing and what he thought about what he had been doing. And here's a guy who is on top of the world. 1967, the Monkees outsell the Beatles and the Rolling Stones combined. Okay? And here he is in 1984 in a coffee house in front of 50 people, playing like Goffin and King songs and kind of relating to some of the great songwriting that the Monkees had during their stint, really at the top of the charts for a few years. Peter Tork, just a great guy, and we left that coffee house thinking to ourselves, wow, we just met Peter Tork. That was cool for us because we were in college and we were meeting mostly a bunch of alternative rock bands that nobody had ever heard of. But, you know, we were hanging out with Peter Tork, and we did it voluntarily. We said, hey, let's go see Peter Tork. We were just blown away. We didn't know a year or two later, thanks to MTV, the Monkees would catch one of the biggest revivals in their history, thanks to MTV just airing their TV show for hours and hours. So it's a sad day. I love Peter Tork. I loved his input, his style. He just seems like, you know, was one of the great affable, decent human beings that played music. And rest in peace, Peter. Somehow I wish I had the Monkees closing theme to go outro here, but I don't, and I can't do that anyway. So Peter, rest in peace. See you soon, everybody.